of you. This is 11th class biology, chapter 13, photosynthesis in higher plants, lecture number 6. Today we will discuss about factors affecting photosynthesis. So there are some internal factors and some external factors which affect the rate of photosynthesis. So in internal factors, there are number, size, age and orientation of leaves, and also mesophyll cells and chloroplast. All these factors which are present inside the plant, these affect the rate of photosynthesis. The number of leaf, first of all, if the number of leaf is more, then obviously rate of photosynthesis increases. Also size of leaf matter here. If a leaf is of bigger size, then it will increase the rate of photosynthesis. The orientation of leaf, like if the leaves are oriented towards the light or not, and what is the optimum requirement of the light for that plant. So based on these factors, rate of photosynthesis is affected. Also internal carbon dioxide concentration affect the rate of photosynthesis. If more carbon dioxide is available, then for photorespiration, the waste food process, that will not occur and rate of photosynthesis increases. And amount of chlorophyll, because chlorophyll is the major pigment which is responsible for carrying out the photosynthesis, so amount of chlorophyll directly affect the rate of photosynthesis. In external factors, these are the factors which affect rate of photosynthesis: sunlight, temperature, carbon dioxide concentration and water. So let's talk about these. Before understanding the effect of these external factors on the rate of photosynthesis, we need to understand Blackman's law of limiting factors. And this law was given by Blackman in 1905. This law says if a biochemical process is affected by more than one factor. So here we can take example of a biochemical process as photosynthesis. Okay. So if any biochemical process is affected by more than one factor, like photosynthesis is affected by more than one factor, temperature, light, carbon dioxide, okay, all these factors are affecting it. Its rate is determined by the factor nearest to its minimum value. Okay, so if there are many factors affecting that process, then which factor will determine the rate? Factor that is nearest to its minimum value. Okay, it is a factor which directly affects the process if its quantity is changed. Okay, so that factor will directly affect the process. If there will be increase or decrease in the quantity of that factor, then it will directly affect that process. For example, a plant with green leaf, optimal light and carbon dioxide may not photosynthesize in very low temperature. If optimal temperature is given, it will start photosynthesis. Okay, it means here temperature is the limiting factor. Okay, what is given here? A plant with green leaf. Green leaves are there, and chlorophyll, internal factors are there, and optimal light and carbon dioxide. Okay, both the factors are in optimal condition, optimal light and carbon dioxide, and it may not synthesize because of very low temperature. So here temperature is in its minimal value. Okay, we are saying the same, that a rate is affected by the factor which is nearest to its minimum value. So in this case, this low temperature is the limiting factor because it is very low, it is nearest to its minimal value, right? So now we will discuss about all the factors one by one. First we will talk about light, how it affects photosynthesis. So light quality, light intensity and duration of exposure to light, all these three things affect photosynthesis. There is a linear relationship between incident light and carbon dioxide fixation rates. Linear relationship, okay, at low light intensities. It means at low light intensities, what happens if we increase the light, rate of carbon dioxide fixation increases. Rate of carbon dioxide fixation means photosynthesis increases. Okay, at higher light intensities, the rate does not further increase because other factors becomes limiting. So I think it is clear. If there is low intensity of light, then this light is acting as the limiting factor, okay? And if we increase that light, then it is directly affecting the photosynthesis. With the increasing light intensity, rate of photosynthesis is also increasing. But when light intensities become higher, means after a limit, you can say, it will not affect the rate of photosynthesis, because at that point other factors become limiting factor. Light saturation occurs at 10% of the full sunlight. Okay, only 10% part of the full sunlight is known as light saturation point for the plants. Hence, except for plants in shade or in dense forest, light is rarely a limiting factor in nature. Okay, because plants require only a few percentage of the sunlight. Okay, 10% sunlight becomes saturation point. So plants generally need less than it. And that's why light is rarely a limiting factor, okay, because enough light is available to the plants. High increase in incident light breaks down chlorophyll. It decreases photosynthesis. Okay, this is one more effect. If light intensity is very high, then chlorophyll may break down and photosynthesis rate will decrease. With the help of this graph, you can understand how light intensity affect the rate of photosynthesis. So you can see here on this side, this is light intensity, this is lower light intensity here, and light intensity is increasing this side, okay, lower than this side, it is increasing, okay, and this is rate of photosynthesis, it is increasing like this, right? So when we are increasing the light intensity, you can see here, if we are increasing the light intensity, rate of photosynthesis is also increasing, right? But up to this point, okay, after this point, what happened? If we are further increasing the light intensity, there is no effect on the rate of photosynthesis, okay, that's why it is in equilibrium now. Now there is no effect on the rate of photosynthesis, because at this point what happened, light intensity is enough now and other factors become limiting factor now, right? And if light intensity becomes more and more, at that point this graph can go downward, because chlorophyll may break down and rate of photosynthesis can decrease. But you need to show only up to this point, that in starting it is a rate of photosynthesis increasing with the light intensity, and then it becomes constant. Next factor is carbon dioxide concentration. So carbon dioxide concentration is the major limiting factor for the photosynthesis, because carbon dioxide concentration is usually low, okay, in the atmosphere, and that is not enough for the plants to show the optimum rate of photosynthesis. So carbon dioxide concentration is very low in the atmosphere. It is only 0.03 to 0.04%. Increase up to 0.05%, okay, if this concentration somehow increase up to this percentage, it causes increase in CO2 fixation rates also, means it increases the rate of photosynthesis, okay. Beyond this level, it becomes damaging over longer periods, right? If it further increase beyond this value, then it can damage the plants, okay. So at low light conditions, C3 and C4 plants do not respond to high CO2 conditions. At high light intensities, they show increased rate of photosynthesis, because at high light intensities, the CO2 becomes a limiting factor. C4 plants show saturation at about 360 ml per liter. At this concentration of carbon dioxide, these plants show saturation level. And C3 plants respond to increased carbon dioxide concentration, and saturation is seen only beyond 450 ml per liter. Thus, current availability of CO2 levels is limiting to the C3 plants. Due to response to higher CO2 concentration, C3 plants show increased photosynthesis and higher productivity. Okay, because for C3 plants this CO2 concentration is limiting factor. The CO2 concentration that is available in the environment, that is limiting factor for the C3 plants, and that's why these plants show increased rate of photosynthesis if carbon dioxide concentration is increased. This fact is used for some greenhouse crops, okay, because in greenhouse what we do, the carbon dioxide concentration is increased inside those greenhouse, and that's why these greenhouse crops show increased rate of photosynthesis, okay, and better productivity. So greenhouse crops like tomatoes, bell pepper, etc., these show increased rate of photosynthesis. They are grown in carbon dioxide enriched atmosphere inside the greenhouse and leads to the higher yield. Next factor affecting photosynthesis is temperature. Dark reactions of photosynthesis being enzymatic, means these are controlled by many enzymes. So these dark reactions are temperature controlled. Influence of temperature on light reaction is very less. Why more effect is on dark reaction? Because dark reactions are controlled by enzymes, okay, and enzymes are very much affected by temperature. Enzymatic kinetics of the enzyme is affected by the temperature, because at higher temperature enzymes may denature, okay, and at lower temperature these enzymes cannot work with more efficiency. So because you know, for the enzymes optimum temperature is required for their action, okay. So dark reactions are more dependent on temperature. The C4 plants respond to high temperatures and show higher rate of photosynthesis, and C3 plants have a much lower temperature optimum, okay. So optimum temperature is different for different plants, like different types of enzymes are there. So for C4 plant high temperature is optimum temperature, and for C3 plants, because those are adapted to the lower temperature, so lower temperature is in comparison to the C4 plants, okay, lower temperature becomes optimum temperature. The temperature optimum of plants also depends on their habitat. You know, the plants which are found in different types of habitat are adapted according to that habitat, okay. If some plants are found in desert region, then those plants are adapted according to the higher temperature, okay, and plants which are found in cold environment, in cold habitat, those are adapted for the lower temperature. So we can say the optimum temperature for the plant also depend on their habitat. Like tropical plants have a higher temperature optimum than the plants adapted to the temperate climates. Temperate climates, the plants which are found in colder climates, okay. Next factor affecting photosynthesis is water. And water stress closes the stomata, means if there is scarcity of water, then stomata get closed. Here you can see these sunken leaves in this plant, and stomata get closed due to scarcity of water, okay. And you know, stomata are the pores for the exchange of gases. So due to closing of the stomata, there will be no exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide, right? So CO2 availability will be reduced, and if CO2 availability will be reduced, then obviously it will affect the rate of photosynthesis. Water stress also wilts leaves, thus reduce the surface area of the leaves. So you can see the surface area of these leaves due to scarcity of water, it is reduced, okay, and if surface area is less, then rate of photosynthesis will be less. And also it affects their metabolic activities, because for most of the metabolic activities water is required as a medium, and if there is scarcity of water, then there will be impact on the metabolic functions of the plant and will affect the rate of photosynthesis and yield. For today, your homework is NCERT question number 9. Now let's discuss the homework solution of previous lecture. By looking at a plant externally, can you tell whether a plant is C3 or C4? Why and how? So the answer is, those plants which are adapted to dry tropical climate, have the C4 pathway. They do not show any external morphological characteristic. Hence, it is not possible to say whether the plant is C3 or C4 by looking at its external appearance. Okay, so by external appearance, we cannot tell it. Next question is, by looking at the internal structure of a plant, can you tell whether the plant is C3 or C4? Explain. So obviously, with the help of anatomy, means the internal structure of the plant, we can tell that plant is C3 or C4. Leaves of C4 plants have cranch anatomy. We have done about it, that there is different type of anatomy in the leaves of C4 plants, and that is cranch anatomy, which makes them different from C3 plants. C4 plants have specialized cells called as bundle sheath cells, which surround the vascular bundles. And every cell of the bundle sheath has chloroplast. The mesophyll cells of the leaves do not differentiate into spongy and palisade parenchyma, and they make a ring-like structure around the vascular bundles. Okay, so there is a different type of anatomy, cranch anatomy, on the basis of which we can differentiate C3 and C4 plants while looking at the internal structure of a plant leaf. In C3 plant, the bundle sheath does not exhibit chloroplast, and the mesophyll cells of the leaves are differentiated into spongy and palisade parenchyma. Okay, so this is the difference. Hence, we can examine the C3 and C4 plant. Next question is, even though very few cells in a C4 plant carry out the biosynthetic, that is Calvin pathway, yet they are highly productive. Can you discuss why? So plant productivity can be estimated by the rate at which photosynthesis occurs, right? If the photosynthesis rate is higher, then productivity is higher. The amount of carbon dioxide in a plant is directly proportional to the rate of photosynthesis. If more carbon dioxide is available, then rate of photosynthesis is increased and the productivity is increased, you can say. In C4 plants, very few cells carry out the biosynthetic pathway, yet they are highly productive for the following reasons. So first reason is they have a mechanism that increases the CO2 concentration at the site of enzyme, and you know about that mechanism very well. In C4 pathway, you know, during the conversion of C4 acid into C3 acid, there is release of carbon dioxide, and that increase the CO2 concentration at the site of enzyme. Okay, second thing, mesophyll cells are broken down in bundle sheath cells that result in CO2 release, which in turn increases the intracellular CO2 concentration. Okay, this is one more reason. One more thing is Rubisco functions as a carboxylase enzyme, means which bind with the carbon dioxide, minimizing the oxygenase activity. So wasteful process, photorespiration is not taking place here. Okay, and increasing photosynthesis make C4 plants more productive. So all these reasons are for increasing the photosynthesis rate, and that's why productivity is more in C4 plants.